Is going on, everybody? What is going on? Welcome to another edition of the Live Stream Friday. As you can see, we are on the main channel today because it is Freestyle Friday. Now, some of you are unfamiliar, but on my live stream channel, I only go live on that channel the first 3 Fridays out of the month. And on the last Friday, I go live on this one. I actually made that as an announcement on my 40K special on this channel a few weeks ago. So, as you know, it is September 24th, 2021, the last Friday of the month. So, we are over here with it today. And of course, next Friday, we'll be back on the main channel. But for right now, I need for everybody to come on in, like the video, or like the stream, I should say, share it with as many people as possible. I'm going to go ahead and do the same. And let's see, GA Fit. How he said there's another channel. Yeah, this is my main channel, as you already know, and on my live stream channel, that's the Rain in Real Time, but we're not streaming over there today. We over here today. So if you have not done so already, I would greatly appreciate it if you share this stream on all your social media platforms. Remember what I said about liking the stream, because the likes drive the algorithm. Let's see what's going on. Jamal Bay, GA Fit Health, Brother Sly, DM Sinister, Spidey, Sunlight Mark Q. And also, if you have not done so already, make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to my live stream channel. That way, y'all, because I know some of y'all don't catch the live that I do on my live stream channel, because many of you probably don't even know that I have a live stream channel. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and find that channel, and I'm going to pin the link to that channel to the top of this stream, so you can go ahead and subscribe to that. And for those of you who do not know how the live stream or how the Freestyle Friday works, is basically a day I don't have any like particular topics to discuss. I let people come up and just give their spill about whatever they want to discuss. However, today there are a couple of things I do want to talk about before people come up, although I know whatever I'm about to talk about, people are going to come on and they're going to have their take on it as well. But I want to make sure that I have my say in before conversations from multiple people kick in. But, in the first couple of minutes, I made sure to, help, welcome everybody into the chat, and then we go from there. Let's see, who else do we have in here? Tony Mac Dewani, what's going on? Sunlight, them people on Twitter are something else. I saw you in my thread, going back and forth with some of them people. And I think I ruffled some feathers with that tweet that I posted up, what was it, last night or early this morning, based off of that stream that Professor Black Truth did last night. Let's see, who else do we have? Handling Jones, Candace the Leo, Jay Bates, Janesta. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, the one that's spelled Abarassee, but welcome. I hope everybody had a good week, relaxing week, successful week, however, your week went. Mine went pretty decently. Zar said, just saw you online. Thanks for sending out the tweet notification. No problem. Oh, we got our first donation. Shout out to Amara Woods. Definitely someone who always contributes to the channel as much as they possibly can. They said, what's up, Torian? Can you do a video on Fat Lock and debunk his stupid opinion on the Breonna Taylor shooting while defending that white lady that got shot at the Capitol riots? Listen. The next time I want to do a video about him is when I have to cue the violins on him. I don't think I've done the violins on him just yet, and he's still hanging on to that. Like, he needs to hang on to a diet, but as heavy as he is, he will pull down the whole structure. Let's see, Brother Sly Dyson, what's going on? What is going on? Someone said they are still barking at. Yeah, I said I had to block somebody. I had to block 2 people today, as a matter of fact. I had to block 2 people today behind that tweet. What's going on, Didi? I had to put my block game on heavy today for 2 people. One person who's like representing Africa, and then someone else, I guess they're representing Haiti. And like they both came into my chat. The one in Africa, wherever he was from, he left this whole thread about all this stuff and all this work that he's doing. I said, okay, would you like a cookie for your menstrual rant? And then try to like call me out of my name and everything like that. I said, I don't got the time. Shout out to Shanika for the Cash App. Like I said, that was Sunlight. Thank you. See, I didn't recognize the name, and apologize. I put your government name out there and you didn't want it. But right there, that's pinned right there at the top of the screen. That is the link to my live stream channel. Like I said, we only go live on this channel once a month, and that's the end of every month. Let's see. John Anderson, G Rock, Crystal. She said, I am she and she is me. D Reed, what's going on? Oh, yeah. Shout out to Professor Black Truth. He went in last night. I actually learned some stuff last night that I didn't even know. That's what actually prompted me to make that tweet that I did about that island. I did not know about that story. That's crazy. That is crazy. Because it's crazy how a lot of people, a lot of Haitians hang on to the Overture and the Dessalines. And we are very appreciative of what both of those men were able to accomplish, especially during that time. But it seems to me that it was some shaky things that happened after that they don't talk about. Like that payment, those payments to France, like paying all that money to France. Like, how is it that you beat France, the French, in that war, and you're paying them money? Voluntarily or involuntary? We would have been in another war. We would have been fighting some more. Because I'm going to be honest, if it wasn't for Haiti paying that money to France like that, France would be probably a third world nation right now. And I think I've learned that a long time ago. I said if Haiti wasn't paying the money like that, France would be a third world nation. It wouldn't be this spectacular place that they make it out to be. What's going on, Joseph Washington? Pinky JYB. No, you didn't miss anything. What's going on, the Boobot Committee? Sunlight says, has anyone heard of Haitians identifying as Latinos? I've never heard that, and I hope not to either. What's going on, Angus Merriweather? Candy says that is foreign Twitter pulling down their flag. No, they're not pulling. I'm still seeing people. They still have their flags up and everything like that. I still see them having it hung up. One thing I thought was interesting, though, is that a lot of people saying we need to be more united, we need to be together and everything like that. But I don't know if y'all seen this or not, because I'm on Instagram. So this is where I saw that the most, more so than on Twitter or any other social media platform. So we all know that you have the moniker of Black Lives Matter. As we know over here, we know what BLM is all about. And now, this week, I saw on more than one occasion the quote, Haitian lives matter. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Haitians, aren't they Black? Last that I checked. Now, these are some of the same people that said we need to be more united. But now you have this hashtag of Haitian lives matter floating around, and that separates you from the group yet again. Now, when you think of black, you're thinking of everything that can fall under the compass, or not the compass, but under the umbrella of blackness, Haitians included. Now, let's just hypothetically say if they had Asian lives, like Asian lives matter. Do you think they would break it down to Philippine lives matter, Chinese lives matter, Japanese lives matter, Taiwanese lives matter, North or South Korean lives matter? No, they will probably just stick it right under the umbrella of Asian. After all, they have a bill that benefits them under a hate crime bill that benefits them if they identify under Asian descent. That doesn't matter from what nation in Asia they identify in, as long as it's in the continent of Asia. So I'm confused. I'm like, if you are trying to be quote unquote a united group, then how are you separating yourself from the group yet again? That's just something that I saw. And it's crazy because, like, I remember when the Haitian president got assassinated, I didn't speak ill about that guy because I didn't know that guy to make any judgment calls on him. I really didn't talk about it at all. I didn't even make a video. I don't even think I tweeted about it. I remember when that her earthquake happened out there in Haiti again. I was like, again? I'm like, how is this even happening? How is it that Haiti keeps getting hit with all these earthquakes? Because I remember when I was in school, when I was in college, back in like in 2000, like I think it was 2009, 2010, somewhere around that time, when Haiti had that bad earthquake in Port-au-Prince. And I didn't know that my roommate at the time was Haitian until I actually heard him on the phone speaking with his mother, and he was speaking Creole. And then that's what it dawned on me that he was. And he's of Haitian descent. I want to think he's first. I don't know if he's even. I can't remember if he's first generation born or whatever the case may be. But I do know he's of Haitian descent. I do know that. And I didn't make fun of that. I didn't speak bad or speak down on that. So it amazes me that when we as Black Americans have a critique, even if it's for people that's within the diaspora, about experiences we've had with other groups within the diaspora, then we are the bad guy. We're the divisive ones because they're so used to us being the ones that coddle everybody in their problems. And I do mean everybody in all of their problems. But the minute that we speak up for ourselves and decide that we're going to be, for ourselves, even for the slightest moment, even though it needs to be more than the slightest moment, then it's an issue. Because for so long, we've always been the ones that have had to extend our arms out for everybody else all the time. And now that we have decided to put our foot down and stand firmly on our square, now it's a problem. Well, guess what? That's their hang up, not ours. And that's it. That's what it is. Now, as far as what's going on down there at the border, is it messed up? Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and just gloat and say, oh well, it is what it is. It is messed up. Those images are horrible. Like when I was looking at them images, I'm just shaking my head like just wow, like looking at it. But now people from around the world who are within the diaspora are finally seeing what Black people have been talking about for so long. When I say Black people, I'm talking about those who live in America, those who have descendants that go back to chattel slavery, have been talking about for so long. No longer is it a fantasy. Now you're actually experiencing our reality, or the reality that we have at one point lived and still in a sense still live. Now you have Afghan refugees who came from Afghanistan who allowed to just come over here into this country, well, this establishment. And I got a video coming up soon about two of them in particular that somebody sent me yesterday that I'm gonna get out to y'all sometime next week. That can just come over here and just flourish. I even made a post about that. And then you have the Haitians that are trying to come over, because, the earthquake and, their assassination of their president, they're trying to get, leave Haiti and come over here. And they're basically being sent back. This is nothing new. This is nothing new. They have been doing this for so long. But I'm going to be honest, to the black immigrants in particular, but we're going to be talking about the Haitians. One of the main reasons why a lot of people, especially black Americans, are having an issue is because many of you, and we don't say don't have pride in your nation, be proud of where you come from and be proud of your heritage. But the problem is a lot of you, and this is not a blanket statement to every last one of them, but a lot of you have so much pride in your heritage that you throw jabs at us to make it seem like we are less than. We hear the talks of, black Americans, they have no culture. Black Americans, they're under the, subverted, under the white man's thumb and everything like that. Well, guess what? At least we're not running from what our heritage is actually from to go be under another rulership. We leave that to you. You're leaving your heritage to come over here. And then guess what's going to happen? You're going to be under the same so-called rulership that we're under. The only difference is you might actually get some adjustments that we don't get. And that also, too, is an issue. Those Afghans that are coming over here, they about to get all kinds of grants. And I saw in a tweet, well, it was a tweet that I made, but it was from a tweet that I saw, that a lot of immigrants can come over here, get grants for 5 years. Well, they don't have to pay taxes for 5 years. And what they'll do is at the end of that 5 years, they'll pass it along to a family member so they don't have to pay taxes. Talk about the biggest hustle ever. One of the biggest hustles ever. All we're saying is this. If you're going to come over here, you're going to have to put in the work like everybody else and then going to try to talk to us about handouts. That's exactly what you would get. Respect the place that you're going to. You wouldn't go to someone's house and put your feet up on their table like you live there. If the people that live there won't do it, what makes you think you as an outsider or a stranger is going to do the same thing? It's a respect thing. And like I said, I'm not gloating or making fun of what they're going through right now down at that border. I'm not. I'm just giving my critique about what I've seen and what I have heard. And this doesn't just go for the Haitians. This goes for those who are Jamaican, those who are from Trinidad, anywhere in the Caribbean. Shoot, even if you're not from the Caribbean, you could even be from the UK, or you can be from Africa, anywhere where black people are at that are not native to the US or North America. Now, like I said, this does not apply to every last one of them, but to those who it does. If the shoe fits, wear it. That's like if I was to go over to a land where other black people are at. I'm not going to disrespect their culture. I'm not going to go over there talking about how black Americans are so much better. Why would I do that? That's showing like almost like you're trying to be elitist. I would not do that. It's a reason why I'm going over there. It's because I want to experience a different culture outside of my own. That's what a lot of black Americans are upset about. It's the fact that you come over from other places. We try to be nice. We try to welcome you with open arms, but you know who gets into your ear maybe before you even get here. And then you have the nerve to try to be high and mighty. That's not going to fly. And then if you get put into our neighborhoods, guess who gets pushed around and pushed out? We do. We build we do what we can to build with what we have, and then you come in and take it over. Again, what I'm saying doesn't have to just apply to one particular immigrant group. That can apply to all of them. Haitians, Jamaicans, Trinidad, Afghan, Asians, white immigrants. Because at the end of the day, many of you operate the same exact way when it comes to us. Latinos, Mexicans. How is it that we show a lot more pride in your history and you fighting off the oppressor than you do? When Professor Bachu was talking about, Haiti's and, their independence and everything like that, whenever Haiti talks about their independence and everything like that, getting their independence from the French, I said, it seems like it only goes that far, but he really broke it down and went even deeper. And it's like, wow, so this is what you're celebrating. Because I'm like this, they've been paying a debt to France for over 100 years. It ended in 1947 when they stopped paying them. But they paid them millions of dollars, which of course at that time probably felt like billions of dollars. And I saw someone tweet some nonsense on Twitter today talking about Haitians deserve reparations. And people was like, from the French? And then they said, no, from the US. No, you're not going to do that either. That's another thing that we got a problem with. You're not going to come over here and think that you're going to shoehorn your way into our tangibles and reparations talk and think you're going to get first dibs on ours. No, you're going to take a back seat. And you're going to wait your turn. No more are we going to put anybody else or let anyone jump and leapfrog in front of us to get what is rightfully ours. No, you better go talk to the French and get your money from them. And if the U.S. does owe you any money, you'll get yours after we get ours. When I saw that, I said, no, that's not going to fly either. They got people in there trying to make a claim for it. No. Think we supposed to just roll over and just take whatever? No. And you think we're just going to just be okay with that? No. That's not how this is going to fly. That's not how this is going to work. But I don't know what they're going to do now. Like, it's all over the news. I don't know what their plans is going to be. They pretty much, shout out to Dyson for the super chat. He said the second leader after Dessalines committed suicide because he knew he would get murdered by his own people, and also they murdered his offspring. That's crazy. And, that's true. That's something they don't talk about because I didn't know that. But no. We are getting ours first. We are putting us first. And that's a problem a lot of people have, is they are getting upset that Black people are putting themselves first once and for all. That's really what B1 really stands for, to put yourself first. But they'll try to make you feel bad about it and saying, oh, you're being selfish. You're not thinking of everybody else. You're damn right we're not thinking about everybody else. We've always been thinking about everybody else. And look at where that's gotten us. Dead ends all the time. And then you got people like Busta Rhymes. He must have bumped his head. Yeah, Busta Rhymes talking about how Jamaicans created hip hop. See what I mean? See what exactly? This is what I'm talking about. I'm disappointed that he said that. Busta Rhymes, a person that us as Black Americans have been listening to since the 90s for over 20 years. Well, almost 30. Talking about some black people, Jamaican people contributed to the creation of hip hop. Excuse me? Exactly, Jordan. He said, look at how them island folks did Michael B. Jordan. That's where Nicki Minaj lost me, because Michael B. Jordan had wanted to do something or create something, and then you had Nicki Minaj coming out there, who was from Trinidad, coming out there talking about they didn't feel that it was right that he do that because he's not of the culture. Had that man pretty much almost apologized for something he was trying to do for their people. And don't get me started on Fat Joe and all the problematic things he has said and done over the last few years as it pertains to black people, even the one that most recently happened. And see, that's the thing we got to push back against, is the constant lies that are being pushed out there to try to make it seem like we didn't create anything. I don't know what type of hip hop they were listening to back in the late 70s, around the time when hip hop was really on the rise. But none of them guys I saw in those clips were of Jamaican descent. We glad that you contributed to it, but let's be honest with ourselves here. We did not. You did not create that. And we're not going to sit here and allow you to spread that lie. What's going on, Third? Shout out to the Tauruses. Oh, Fat Joe got checked, but his so-called apology or whatever it was that he gave out was weak. He shouldn't have said it. He shouldn't have said anything. But yeah, that covers that part right there. That's pretty much all I had to say when it came to the whole border situation in Haiti. But before I drop the link for anybody to come up, let me talk about the whole Jelani Day situation. Because I didn't know whether I was going to do a video about it or not, but I said, let me just go ahead and talk about it on this live. So as y'all know, Jelani Day was the 25, I think it was 24, 25. Someone can correct me in the chat. Black man in Illinois who went missing back on August 25th, 2021, which was less than a month ago. And it did not really get any type of news reports or anything like that in the media until recently, mainly because people made a lot of noise around it because of what happened to Gabby Petito, who was the white woman who they found her remains, and they're still looking for the boyfriend a couple days ago. Well, it has now been announced that Jelani that they confirmed that his body was found in a river on September the 4th. Now, like I said, he went missing on August 25th. His body was found on the 4th. And then they just reported like yesterday that they confirmed that that was the body of Jelani Day. And a lot of people were upset because they feel like him going missing or him being missing did not get as much media attention as Gabby Petito. And not only just not him, but a lot of other black people who go missing don't get that kind of media attention. And a lot of people were saying, oh, it's because Gabby Petito, she was an influencer and everything like that. I said, okay, that's fine. You know, she was an influencer, but still at the same time, she was a blonde haired, blue eyed woman. And we know they get a lot of priority put on top of them. And I said, if we're going to go off that, then let me take it like a little further back. What about Natalie Holloway? She went missing in Aruba when she went on a class trip with her her class back in 2005. And I don't think that to this day they even found her body, but at this point she's dead. They did find the person who was responsible. We can take it back further than that. We can go to Chandra Levy. Who remembers Chandra Levy? She was the one messing with that politician back in like the early 2000s, I think around 2002 or something like that. And she went missing and they found her body in the woods. I'll take it back further than that to 1996 with JonBenet Ramsey. Boulder, Colorado, little white girl, pageant girl, found dead in her family's basement, and they never found who the killers were. But they made a very big deal about that. Because me and her were the same age. We were both born in 1989. So if she was still alive, she would be 32, just like me. They made a very big deal, although I do believe that her parents had some kind of involvement with that. But see, both her parents are dead now, so. Then we can take it back further than that, and this is what helped kick CNN off. That little girl that fell down that well back in the late 80s. And speaking of, it reminds me of a line from Scary Movie 3 from Brenda, played by Regina Hall. She says, "Black people get shot by the police every day, but the whole world want to stop when one little white girl fall down the well." I said, as funny as that line was, that was a very true line, because that is very true. The world will stop for one white woman or one white girl. And see, y'all are saying in the chat, they still talking about JonBenet Ramsey, and she's been dead since 96. So all those other ones that I mentioned that were not Gabby Petito were not influencers. Those missing women or girls, they went missing before the advent of social media. Oh, I got another one. I can't believe I almost forgot this one. Elizabeth Smart. Y'all remember Elizabeth Smart? White girl that was kidnapped by these random bums, this bummy looking couple, and had her living in the woods, literally in the woods behind her house. She was in the woods behind her house for almost a year, and they never knew that she was right there the whole time. Brainwashed her into saying that this is who she is. And that happened back in, I think it was in high school? I think. I'll take it another step further. Remember the one that went overseas? What was her name? The one that went overseas that they said killed her roommate. What was her name? I think it was in Italy. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I can't remember her name. The one that went to Italy on a class trip, and they said that she and the guy she was with were responsible for the death of this white girl. I forgot her name. Not the one that got killed, but the one that did it. They said that did it. If y'all know, put her name in the chat. But because I forgot her name. Amanda. What was her last name? Amanda. It was Amanda something. Knox. Thank you, Angus Merriweather. Amanda Knox. They said that she and some guy she was with in Italy was responsible for killing her roommate or something like that, who was another white girl. And they hung on that case for a long time too. Now they came to the conclusion that Amanda Knox didn't do it, although I think that's a little suspect, and I think she had some involvement. So y'all see what I mean? And that was before social media as well. So I can't really hang off of, it's because she's an influencer. I just gave you several examples of those who were not social media influencers, because social media wasn't around at the time when those incidents happened, or they were just on the rise where social media influencer wasn't even a phrase. It wasn't even a terminology. So this goes back to, again, Gabby Petito being a white woman. Then couple on top of that, they said she was in domestic disputes with her boyfriend. So you know they're going to hang off of that because she's the white woman in despair and in distress. Although, if you look at the videos, and because the videos are like over an hour long, when it was there was scratch marks, but the scratch marks weren't on her. The scratch marks were on her boyfriend. So now it's looking like, okay, was Gabby all she was cracked up to be? Or was she the one that was being abusive in the relationship? Zarba, I already mentioned Natalie Holloway. She was the first one that I mentioned. Like, I'll never forget that. Natalie Holloway stayed in the news for the entire summer of 2005. And the only reason she got knocked out of the news cycle was because of Hurricane Katrina. Like her being missing could not beat that. But by that time, they had already caught the guy who did it. So she was about to fall out of the news cycle anyway. But yeah, Natalie Holloway stayed in the news for 3 months. Every single day. You could not go a day and not see her in the news. And Natalie Holloway and Amanda Knox, the one that they say she killed, both of those happened overseas. Natalie Holloway was in Aruba, and Amanda Knox's victim, alleged victim, was in Italy. And it made world news. They had the world looking for these girls. Well, looking for Natalie Holloway. But when it comes to black people, then it's a problem. The last black person I think I saw in the news was that little black girl that went missing that was in the DC area. She was the only one I could think of where she actually made world news. And it pretty much got discovered that her mother and her boyfriend was the ones that killed her. They said that her remains was found in a trash bag, but they still didn't know how she got there. It was the mother and the boyfriend. I forget the little girl's name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. But when it comes to black people, it's like, okay. And like Lisa said in one of her videos, they just chalk it up to them being missing. And now that we found out what happened with Jelani Day, now it's another person who's in the news cycle, or about to be emerging into the news cycle. His name is Daniel, I want to say Robinson. Lisa did a video about him earlier today. He went missing in Arizona back in June or July. His car was crashed. He was in an accident, but when they went to go investigate the site, he wasn't there. He was not there. His vehicle was there. It was all mangled up, but he was not in it. So something fishy is going on here. Like, how is it that you have this wreckage, but you don't have a body? And this happened back in July, like the last week of July. And his family was on the news. His brother was on there, his dad was on there, and they were talking about it. Because, already the authorities are trying to say it wasn't foul play. Because, say it wasn't foul play means they don't have to do that much of an investigation. One of the most craziest stories I think I've ever heard involving black people just kind of being deserted somewhere in a desert was a few years ago, where it was this black guy who was a model. And he was supposed to be doing some kind of, I guess he was going to do a photo shoot. I guess that's what it was. And his parents or his mother called him, but never got a response, called for days and never got a response from him. And then, they try to find where he was at. They eventually found him. They found his body laid out in the middle of the desert with some of his organs missing. So they harvest the organs of this black man who was a model. I forgot his name, but I think I did a video about it when it happened. It wasn't that long ago. It wasn't that long ago because I was making videos on YouTube at the time because I talked about it. It may have been on my original channel, so you probably wouldn't be able to find that video. And also, one person I'm still on, I keep Googling her name every day, is Kiara Coles, the Chicago postal worker who was pregnant, who went missing like 2 or 3 years ago. The last update that came about her was earlier this year, but the case is pretty much gone cold. I'm still Googling about the case around Kawan Charles. I haven't had any updates on that since April. So trust and believe me when I tell you that I'm looking at these stories that I said I was going to keep my eye on. I'm doing that every day to see if there's an update that comes up, but nothing comes through. Somebody has to. Okay. I got that out of the way. What I'm doing now is I'm posting the link in the chat for anybody that would like to come up and speak. After all this is Freestyle Friday, we can go ahead and do something, see if I can keep this going until about 6 o'clock. But I just wanted to get those first, my take out of the way about these situations before I let anybody else come up, because I know some people might have their own take about it or whatever they want to talk about. But I wanted to make sure I got my point across first before anybody else came up. I'm going to go ahead. Let me see if I can't even pin it. If anybody would like to come on up, you are more than allowed to do so. And I feel like I'm so backed up on stories and everything like that. I be going to, like, when I'm recording videos and I go and look at videos I record, and then I look at the ones that have to be uploaded. I'm like, oh my God, I have so much material that I have to give y'all. Let's put it this way. If I didn't record a video for an entire week, and I'm talking about recent videos, then I would have enough material to last me like 2 weeks without me having to record one video. That's how many videos I have in my backlog. What's going on, Washington?
Dorian, hey chat room. Sorry I came in 10 minutes late at the start of your live stream, but I'm glad I caught the bit of it that I could, especially your take on the Haitian incident on the border.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see Tariq's broadcast where he had Jason Black and Professor Black Truth on there, like the foundational Black American State of the Union address?
Was that a while ago?
I believe it was a year or two ago.
I might have watched it, but it's been a while, so I might have forgotten about it.
It's crazy. Our saying no to jumping on the backs and being the shields for these other groups. I think Professor Black Truth said it. I believe he was the first one. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
It was some movement in the background. I couldn't really hear you at first.
Oh, okay. Well, I was saying Professor Black Truth when he said, I think we should gel on the, and I'm just paraphrasing it. He said, as far as Pan-Africanism is concerned, I think we should hold back on it for a bit. And when he said that on the live stream, a lot of people didn't understand why he said that or where that came from. Fast forward to now, we see why.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy that Professor Black Truth planting that seed. Then Tariq continue forward with saying, "Hey, if you're not really for Black empowerment, just, move to the side." And Jason Black, what could I say? He lit an inferno with his latest broadcast about the incident on the border, which is sad because it's you said it best. We have welcomed everyone with open arms, and all they've done was burn bridges.
Exactly.
And it's you know what? We need to conserve our energy and stop building bridges for these other groups who are only interested in getting resources. We need to conserve our energy and get our resources together as well.
Exactly.
This has been some month, and fall just hit what, yesterday or the day before?
We'll repeat that.
This has been some month, and fall was just what, yes, the first day of fall was what, yesterday or the day before?
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to come in and say hi and thank you for your take on the incident and the number of Black people missing. I think if we were to set up a fund to just have people do cold cases on missing Black people, it would be the size of a library.
Oh yeah, it's a amount of number of Black people that are reported, as missing, is a very high number, and I'm almost certain that there's even some Black people that are missing that aren't even reported, so the number is even higher.
Right. But like you say, you're gonna keep a lookout for updates. Also, I'm gonna skim through some social medias as well just to see if anything else comes up with maybe not the people you mentioned, but just other people who might fit into that category.
Right.
Anyway, I'm gonna get off and listen to the rest of the live stream. Thanks for taking the call.
All right, no problem. You have a good one.
You too.
All right. All right. Appreciate you, Joseph Washington, for coming up and contributing your voice. Let's see. I'm gonna add Johnny Ali to the stream. What's going on, Johnny?
What's going on, Torian? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Salute to your channel. I've been watching you for about 2 years now.
Appreciate
you always coming on with that heat. So I just wanted to say that because I didn't vote last year, but to the people who did voted, I hope y'all are now seeing the difference. There's no difference between Joe Biden or Donald Trump. They're both racist bastards. They're both devils. They're both cave dwellers. And yeah, what they're doing, because I'm Haitian. My parents were from Haiti, and
Okay.
just seeing what they're doing, those images that I saw, it just really pissed me off. But this is
Well,
just
I'm
a
glad.
reminder.
Go ahead. You can go finish.
No, that was it.
Okay. I'm glad that you said that. As a person, so when you say you're Haitian, are you of Haitian descent and you were born here like first generation, or were you born in Haiti and you immigrated over here?
I was born here in America. My parents was born in Haiti.
Okay. So my question to you is, what is your take on? Okay. Have you heard everything that I've said in the entire stream so far?
Yeah, most of it.
Okay. So what is your take on people who are, Black Americans who have basically had critiques about people from Haiti, and everything with the border situation, and not just mine, but people like Jason Black and Professor Black Truth, and the post that they've made? Because I think Jason Black has another stream he's going to be doing tonight where it's talking about how immigrants, particularly Black immigrants, and scaled down even more to Haiti, are now begging for the help of Black Americans after they've said some things about them that was, you know, kind of rubbed in the wrong way. So my question to you is like, how does that make you feel, like hearing that? Like, does that make you feel some type of way, or do you agree?
Well, again, I was born here, and my like, it's sad to say that, like, but my parents, they're whitewashed, because when the Clintons came over to Haiti, and like the church that I even go to, like a lot of them are whitewashed. So the things they said about, like, and their relationship between like white people, it's like being a descendant from here, or like if you were born in America, you're really going to see the different mindsets between those who were born in America and those who were born in Haiti. And the ones who were born in Haiti, a lot of them are whitewashed.
Right.
I do believe that, because I know he said something regarding like Haiti's owed money by the Americans, which is true, because if you go back to the Revolutionary War, they did help them fight, and the Americans did promise them to give them money, but they never did it. They spit in their face. But at the same time, our people were here first. The descendants from Africa, they were here first. So I do believe that reparations are owed to the descendants of from Africa. Like, we got to take care of our people who are here first, who were born here first, before we worry about everyone else.
Okay. I just wanted to get your take on it.
Yeah, no problem, though.
Was there anything else, or was that it?
Nah, that was about it. But
okay.
Salute to your channel. Keep doing your thing.
All right. I appreciate you coming up. All right. Appreciate you, Johnny, for your take on that. And I definitely, since you said you was of Haitian descent or descendant, I definitely had to get your take on that in particular. And if there's anybody else who follows me who's of Haitian descent or just from Haiti, you can feel free to come up as well, because I really want to hear from you, because I feel like this definitely affects you, because this is, at the end of the day, this is your people for the most part that's being affected at that border. All right, I'm gonna bring Dyson up first, Spidey, because he was here but he had fell off before you came in. Then I'll bring you on.
Hey, you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. I can.
Okay. I'm not born in Haiti, but I'm of Haitian descent. Well, I could talk about modern time Haiti. I don't know all of it. Obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of the story, but I could talk about up until 2011-16. The people had a choice to pick. The people of Haiti had a choice to pick a real politician who's really looking to get shit done, who was really about some shit. But guess what? They chose the artist named Matali. And then people was talking, oh, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. But like, I think you had three candidates. You had a man, you had a woman, and you had Matali. He's a Haitian artist or whatever. Like, people, I don't know, when people voted for him, they said, oh, he ain't did this for Haiti, he ain't did that for, I mean, what the fuck? And then the weird optics of it all is just all these Black Americans, they on drugs, they sell drugs, they fuck up the community. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then the Haitians who happens to be American, their kids, the Haitian kids, well, Miami specifically, they scamming, they killing people, fucking frauding people, they in jail. Like, they talk about, Black Americans having baby mamas, baby daddies, but I'm like, what the hell? You Haitians do the same thing. But that's the little point. I mean, it's crazy. Oh, yeah, and there's a story I just put in the super chat about the second leader. I forgot his name, dude. After Toussaint Dessalines, the second leader, he was telling the Haitian people, let's build our military. Yeah, we beat the French or whatever. Let's build our military and let's build our economy. No, I want to hear that shit. So out of fear, the citizens of Haiti, out of fear of, oh, he's going to put us back in bondage, they said, oh, you know, we're going to kill him. So he was hiding his shit. I don't know about the kids, but he was hiding his shit. So he said, you know what, fuck, I'm going to commit suicide. And they went and the people of Haiti went in and killed his kids and shit. And I forgot the third leader or the fourth leader. And when the French showed up, all of a sudden, oh, we need our military. Oh yeah, and I think the third or fourth leader was a lot more lenient. Was not on. Let's not, let's not have our security. Let's not have our this or that. And then after it happened, now all of a sudden they want to get serious. They say, you know what? Hey, they will surround us. Let's give up. Like, like a stick up. No, if you don't stick, like, because they was not prepared. They was not ready. It was all partying bullshit. So I just, yeah, we'll stick up, do nothing about it, and then we paid a little reparations reparations to the French.
Mm-hmm. A little is an understatement.
No, but it was like nice land. I don't know how they say it, but it was like, oh, nice land you have there. It would be a shame if we to see it go to waste.
Did you listen to that video that Professor Black Truth posted last night?
Oh yeah, he told nothing but the truth. And in fact, if I were to do a YouTube, I have a YouTube channel. If I do a YouTube video talking about this, I will catch hell. I will shoot my parents. I will catch hell talking about this. I will catch hell. I will catch hell. And when you're not born here, that's what I'm talking. I don't like talking shit, bro. I hate doing that. But when you talk about, the crazy thing, with myself, when they look at me, you one of them. But when I speak, you Haitian, whatever. If you got tattoos and dreads, you're not. I don't know. It's retarded. I don't want to talk about the retarded.
The part that got me in the video was when he was talking about that island. That part is the part that stuck out to me the most. I'm like, how is it that you had this island that was for you? Yeah, that was the part that I think it was called Navassa Island or something like that. That part got me when he was talking about that. And apparently the white guy that got it was from America. Like he, from America. And they basically went over there and said, I want this island. And he got it. Like he literally just got it. And it's currently still owned by the U.S. today. It's technically a U.S. territory, much like Puerto Rico or the Virgin Islands.
Oh, yeah, that's not talked about. But another thing, I'm going to sound like making an excuse, but I don't want to sound like making an excuse. But another thing to it is, the thing about that is, you got to understand, you got an embargo. Like, you got people limiting the trade. Oh, I forgot. You seen the story where the UN, I forgot, that was since the earthquake, where the UN was dumping poison water in the freaking lake in Haiti. I forgot somewhere. I think around Port-au-Prince, something like that. That's from what I heard. This is the type of stuff that they do. They spray stuff in the atmosphere to make it hard for the crops to grow and shit. All little shit like that.
Yeah, I can believe that. Because they do that stuff here too. Yeah, I can believe that. But I'm glad that you. Yeah, but I'm glad that you came up and you spoke about this. Like I said, it's one thing that we speak about it, from our perspective, but it's also good to hear from people that actually are from that.
Oh yeah, another thing, the word IET, like Haiti, it's supposed to be united, but we're not as united. We like divided. Like it's just sad. It's sad all the way around. And especially what's going on now. No, like we're divided even amongst ourselves in Haiti, and it shouldn't even be like that. No, like bro, I'm serious. Like if you see people, I'm serious. Like this, how bad it is. If you were like born here, you don't probably live whatever, you're not considered Haitian. But if you have some money or if you're a celebrity or some shit, you a Haitian. No, you don't even have that. You don't have to be a celebrity. If you have some money or some importance, you a Haitian now. No, but even if you're born Haitian, if you're not like me, I talk like, I don't know. Some people say I have like a New Yorker's accent or like a regular accent. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But since I don't talk it, like since I don't like talk it out, like I don't talk it very fluently. But when I speak it enough, that's all you are. But you're not born. But that's the point.
Exactly. But yeah, is there anything else that you had to say, or was that it?
Wait, I want to know in the chat. Am I making sense? I mean, I'm not looking at the chat or anything.
Yeah, they was agreeing. They was agreeing with you. Like they was vibing with what you were saying.
Damn, that is.
And this is not directed to you, but Builder Square Children of the Sun. I I saw the comment that you left in the chat. If you want to come up, then you can. Because like I said, because you said that you are of Haitian descent as well, but you said you've been living in America for the last 30 years. So if you want to come up, you can come up as well. But yeah, they was vibing with what you were saying. They like what you were saying.
Oh, another thing, I know it has nothing to do with the topic at hand. I remember the comment I made. They say, I don't know, this chat where they was talking with this cop and this, they was insulting their intelligence, but that's how it's point. They was saying how they're not protected. If something happens to them, they're not. You know, I'm like, but then when they talked about in the comments that if they get if black woman gets kidnapped or whatever, they're not talking about. But if white woman, which we just seen this week, no, I just made that comment this week after that happened. Like, it's weird. It just right when I tapped it, I don't know if it was yesterday when they made a report about the missing girl, but that's the point. When I just thought about it, the next day I was like, damn, what the fuck? I don't know. It's just weird to me. Weird synchronicities, whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But anyways, I gotta let you go. I gotta let other people talk.
All right, but I appreciate you coming up though. You have a good one. All right, Spidey, you are up next, and we know that this is like your favorite day. You love the Freestyle Fridays.
Yeah, man. I can't help it, man. I just like coming on here and speaking my truth, if you will. Which by the way, speaking of which, going back to that last freestyle, that was literally like my favorite. What am I trying to say? That was literally like my favorite freestyle that we ever did, because we went on and on.
Yeah, well, that one really wasn't a freestyle. That was more because I was celebrating 40K on the channel, so that was a little bit different. I just happened to have it on a Friday.
Yeah. Thanks, Jordan. Thanks for saluting me, brother. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying. Yeah. No wonder we went on for like 5 hours. Although you were really I appreciate you for that, man, because you really didn't have to do that for us. And see, that's the thing. We as a panel, and I feel like we as a chat, especially here on this channel and the other channel, we really like vibe off each other and play off of each other very well,
Right.
Especially when especially when you not only when you have me on here, when you also have Noam, who was absent today. And see, that's another thing. It's kind of strange me being on here without Noam, because like I said, we vibe off of each other very well. It kind of leaves me with less stuff to talk about, to be very honest.
Yeah, I think somebody in the chat was asking where he was. I don't know if that was you or somebody else.
Yeah, I think that was me. Yeah. I don't know if you saw this story or not. Did you see this story in my state where you had literally this cop who was in Madison, Wisconsin, my state capital, who was caught with allegedly a prostitute in a car?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Oh.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, that he was caught with a prostitute. That doesn't surprise. Did something happen, or did he was just caught with a prostitute?
Well, somebody recorded it. You could barely see him. He was like literally caught in his car though. It was ridiculous. And the sad thing about it was a brother.
Got to be more careful. But why would you be out in the open? And was he on duty? He was on duty.
I'm not sure.
Either way, why would you be out and about in public in your squad car with a prostitute? Like if you was, first of all, it's dumb all the way around because you was in your squad car. Number one, but if you was on duty, that's even more dumb.
Well, see, here's the thing. He wasn't even like your average cop. He was like a part of chain of command. He was a lieutenant.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that goes to show you like what people who should be like literally be, well, maybe I shouldn't say role models, because we're all humans, we all make mistakes, but like people that literally goes to show you like the hypocrisy in law enforcement. I mean, like if that just like if you go and watch if you sometime go and watch a video, like the guy said in the video who recorded the guy, like if you or me was doing that shit, we would be thrown under the jail.
Exactly.
He would be arresting us. So
Mm-hmm.
like
Exactly. And like, why would and like I said, like if you was gonna have a prostitute, like why would you do it like out in the open where people can see you? Even if he wasn't a cop, people are gonna be curious, if they see something like that actually happening. But it doesn't surprise me because a lot of cops be picking up prostitutes all the time. Like they go right down there because they know where they be at, and a lot of them, are Johns, for those prostitutes.
exactly. So they definitely do their part in the crime world. And not only that, obviously to this day they're still planting drugs on people. I mean, not only the white ones. You had that notorious Ronald Watts, I think his name was, down in Chicago, who notoriously, like took money and planted drug and like just ruined several lives of black men in the city of Chicago.
Exactly. Like he could have went like that person with the prostitute. He could have easily went to a motel or something, and
like
not
a motel,
and yeah,
like a Motel 6.
exactly.
Yeah, they definitely leave the light on.
Right.
Yep. Let's see what else. I'm kind of on borrowed time here because I know you want to let other people on. I really didn't have nothing much else to say except, like I said, that was a fun time last time. I appreciate you letting me on here in general, just to talk. Like I said, I know I'm a recurring character, if you will, on this on your channel, but I just appreciate you for letting me on. And see, like I said, I feel like on this channel we're all united, we all support each other, and you know it just feels good being on here, man. You never know, this could be cathartic for some people,
Right.
just to get stuff off their chest.
That's why I decided to have this happen like once a month, because at one time I only did it once a year and it was usually at the end of the year, but I'm like, that's once a year and I gotta wait to the end of the year to do it. So that's why I had decided to make it be a once a month type of thing, because y'all are so used to hearing me talk every single day, and I always like, this is a time for me to just kind of kick back and just kind of relax and let y'all take over for just a little bit.
Yeah, and see that's the thing. I don't know if you can remember, but like last New Year's Eve, that was my first appearance on here. And I remember I was like, the first time I came on here, I was like having mic trouble and everything,
Yeah.
I was like real nervous, and but eventually, it got worked out and I came back on, but I still was nervous. I mean, like, every time I have to do some form of public speaking, I'm always have this like nerve in my system, because it's like, am I saying this right? Do I sound stupid? I mean, like, because I'm talking in like, especially in this type of setting, I'm not only talking to it's not only like me and you here, it's like 100 other people here. So it's like,
right.
And literally, like, people can go back and watch this and literally hear my voice and everything. So that's a lot. That can be a lot to take in.
Exactly. But I'm glad that you can contribute whenever you can.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know you're glad. You're probably glad to have a Milwaukee contributor. Well, like I said, thanks, man. I'm gonna let other people get on and let them have their moment to shine. And take care. Thank you.
All right. Shout out to Spidey. Contributed to Freestyle Friday at the end of every Friday, and also appears when I do my live streams on my other channel as well. Like I said, I'm continuously putting the link in the chat. If anybody would like to come up and speak, you can do so. Like I said, this is the one time per month that I usually open up the chat or the stream for people to come up and talk. Because like as I said before, I'm the one that's usually doing all the talking. Autobot just once said I would, but I'm scared. You have nothing to be scared of. Like nobody's judging over here. I pretty much said all I have to say, in the first hour of, well, the first 45 minutes of the stream. The rest is in your hands. I'll give it to 5:20. If no one wants to come up by that time, I'll just go ahead and just cut the stream short. Even though I try to let it run until 6. Like I said, this is a stream that usually I just let everybody else come up here and talk. And since Gnome King is not present at the moment, I know he'll keep the conversation going, but he's currently not in the chat. Zart said, what are your thoughts on Sonny and Anna being asked to leave the View because they tested positive for WUVID after being vaccinated? Well, I don't watch the View, so I can't really keep up with it or anything like that. But it's very interesting because I've never actually seen that happen on a talk show before. But you got to think that is a panel. It's not just one person. So that, that is interesting. And then I found out what guests they were supposed to be having. They're supposed to have Clown Mala up there. So it is what it is. So I really don't have that much thoughts about that whole situation. That's all I can really say. It would be nice to get some people up here that usually don't come on here to speak, because the last couple of people that come on, the 3 that came, well, the 3 people that came up, always are present. Mark said, I wonder if Brian Laundrie is running to the border. Which border? Because if he plans on running to that border down south, he'll definitely get caught with all the activity that's going on down there right now. Johnny said, what are your thoughts on Joshua James suing to get his job back? Who is that? Joshua James. Let's see. Oh, he was involved with the Breonna Taylor shooting. Oh, well. I feel everybody involved with that situation gets what they deserve, or should get what they deserve. Jordan said, did you hear about the shooting in Tennessee? Did that just happen? Oh, I see it now. It was a shooting at a Kroger in Tennessee today. And they identified who it is. He looks Asian. Oh, he is Asian. Looks like I'm gonna have to do a video about this. Gary Washington said, how do you feel about the federal employee exemption? Are they going to be given special passes? You mean as far as taking the scene? You mean as far as them tapping to take the scene? Leonard Carl Wilson, did you see that white girl in the Larry Elder video? I wanted to rip that monkey mask off her head. Yeah, I saw it. I think she was the one that threw the egg at him. Honestly, Larry Elder, like I think I've already exhausted a lot of things that I could say about him. I didn't know that they was exempt from taking the scene. I thought they had to take it. Keith said, "Have you got any more info from?" Oh, you talking about that one? I was like this morning because I'm like, I didn't upload any videos today. That's what kind of confused me. No, I don't have any other like updates. All it's saying in there that he's going to get 40 to 50 years in jail. That was his sentencing. Or that's what he's supposed to get. Zarp said Biden's been pretty quiet about those Haitians being whooped at the border, and his Haitian Deputy Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, excuse me, hasn't said anything either. And I don't really expect him to say much of anything. Autobot Jazz says, you heard about Danny Robinson? Yeah, I heard about, I actually mentioned him in the first hour of this stream. Johnny Ali said there were 2 middle school children trying to reenact Columbine. I did a video about those 2 yesterday. It's crazy. They're in middle school trying to reenact Columbine. They weren't even born yet. That's the part that got me. Now, y'all couldn't leave a comment on there because YouTube disables the comments whenever there's a video involving minors. So even if they commit violent or about to commit a violent act, they'll disable the comments. But yes, I talked about it yesterday. I'm like, y'all are in middle school, 13 and 14 years old. Y'all weren't even born when Columbine happened, but you found inspiration in that. Okay, I see somebody came in here, but it's build the script, but it says device is not connected. So I gotta wait for him to connect his audio first before I can let him in or let them in. Zara said, you think Gabby Petito's boyfriend is dead or still on the run? I can't even call it. I can't even call it. Leonard Carl says, it's sad that we're losing good actors at a young age. Rest in peace, AJ Johnson. Exactly. And speaking of that, I'm glad you said that because I said I was going to talk about this person in my stream. R.I.P. to Melvin Van Peebles. You know, he recently passed away. What was it? 2 days ago, I believe. 2 days ago, he passed away. It's crazy. We just lost AJ Johnson like the day before. So we're losing our people like left and right. We lost Michael K. Williams, Melvin Van Peebles, and AJ Johnson all in the same month. 3, phenomenal actors, honing their craft and what, and their passions of what they were doing. But yeah, Melvin Van Peebles, he passed away at the age of 89 a couple days ago. The first thing I think I ever saw him in was an episode of Living Single back in the day. It was the episode where him and his son Mario Van Peebles was on there, and Regine was dating both of them at the same time without them even knowing. Some of y'all probably know what episode I'm talking about. All right, go ahead. What's going
on? Good afternoon.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How is your afternoon, or whatever time of day it is in your area?
It's 5:20 in the evening where I'm at.
Well, so good evening to you.
All right, cool.
Let's see. I called in because, let's see, earlier, some of the comments that were being made on the border crisis and the mass of Haitians that are there.
Okay.
So I was experiencing operator error connecting, and so I let's see, perhaps if you could ask a question, that would be better.
Oh, you want me to ask you the question?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I saw the comment that you had left in the chat. You said that you are of Haitian descent. You've been here so you live in the States now?
That's correct.
Okay, so you live in the States now. You said for about 30 years now. So my question to you is based on everything that you have heard so far from people about, especially basically Black Americans, about how they feel towards Haitian immigrants, especially what what's going on now. Not necessarily what's going on with them at the border per se, but some of the things that many of them have said over the years towards Black Americans that you probably have heard yourself be said in a more of a talking down to in a type of tone. What is your take on that?
So some of the rhetoric that's out there, the opinions of said Haitians, about the state of Black America, overall, it's been out of order, notwithstanding whether some of the things said have been true, accurate, or not. It's totally out of order, and it's also absolutely off code, and it's not helpful to as a Haitian, it certainly is not mitigating the situation that we're all in, that we would be so loose or reckless to speak in such an incompassionate way about our counterparts, Black Americans, or does that make any sense?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I guess my next question is I'm trying to see like how I can actually frame this. Why do you think that a lot of people, and I'm gonna use Haiti for this example because I'm talking to someone who is Haitian, and why do you think that a lot of people who are from Haiti leave their country of origin, don't try to build up the infrastructure that is there, come to America and think that they can leapfrog over the people that's already here, and in some cases are allowed to do so?
I think, or my thoughts about that are that a great deal of Haitians, immigrants in general, but we're speaking of Haitians. Too many Haitians have this American dream seared into their cognitive psyche, and so once they are actually on American ground, they I think overall we do a bad job at recognizing that there's a problem with this American dream mindset, and sometimes, more often than not, I believe because of the ignorance, the lack of experience associated uh, with what American Africans or Black Americans are actually enduring, or the battle that that they are actually fighting. We don't consider that, and somehow we jump to a conclusion that there's a lack of trying, and I think overall it's just a disappreciation for what it is that Black Americans are actually enduring on a day-to-day basis, and it really is quite arrogant. I mean, I have some of my own family members actually try to tell me about what's going on here in the States, and I have to remind them, you don't live here. And it
Right.
still doesn't make a difference. And so yeah, I don't I think that's part of why so many Haitians are say some of those things, and it's wrong, and it's off code, and it's not mitigating to any of our situation. I know I didn't answer that full question. Could you remind me of the other part of it?
The part where I was see now yeah, I kind of forgot what I was saying. The last part. About leapfrogging over Black people that are already here to basically get like grants and businesses and things of that nature that Black people here have a struggle to get, because the history is a lot of Black people here can't even get a decent business loan from the bank to open up a business. But a lot of people who are immigrants can come over here and just get it flat out, like right off the rip. Like I talked about it when it came to the Afghans on Twitter the other day, and it happens with other immigrant groups too. So that was my question. Like, what's your take on immigrants being able to leapfrog over the Black people that are already here and get something that they didn't really have to work for? They just got it.
So far as as far as Haitians attempting to leapfrog foundational American Africans, I respectfully, I think I kind of laugh at that, because the overall picture is that it's not, I don't really believe it's happening. I think that there's plenty of sellouts who allow themselves to be a jester for white parasitism, and it works, and it pays them quite well, and therefore those who are selected do an extraordinary job to retain that pay. And then generally speaking, when we say immigrant, as in anyone else who is not a Hebrew, who is not who is not coded like we are, hair like us, and hue like us. I think it would seem to me, in the time that I've been here and what I've witnessed, that this is America, and the Black people the humans will always be at the bottom because that is the class system that is instilled in America. And even if you're a billionaire, super successful, if you're Kanye West, if you're what's the fella from BET, if you're Neil deGrasse, it's not. This system was not built to benefit you, us, and the day that we start to get ahead and we start to reap benefits, the whole system will absolutely collapse because that's, I mean, you are the wood that keeps this furnace hot in this American economy. So once you start benefiting, everyone else starts to losing. I mean, it's our asses everyone is eating and getting fat off of.
Okay, I heard that you mentioned like some like you mentioned some names like you mentioned Kanye West. You have your Jay-Z's. When you were thinking about BET, I think you were thinking of Bob Johnson because he was the one that used to own BET before he sold it to Viacom. Now those
Yeah.
people like those are that's just a small that's a very tiny minuscule, tiny and small group of Black people that were able to be extremely successful. But look what they became successful in entertainment. You want to think about like the people that want to become successful in other ways outside of entertainment, because they always say that Black people, like, that's our lane, is entertainment, whether it's acting or music or any type of form of entertainment. When we are entertainment, we are like the court jester or something to that effect. Like that's pretty much the lane that we're supposed to be in, and that's the square. It's almost like that's what they carved out, especially for Black Americans in particular. Now, my thing is this: like going back to what you were saying about, like, you was mentioning about your family. Would you say that Haitians get their talking points from white mainstream media when it comes to Black people in America? Like the talking point, like the talking points that we're lazy, we don't do nothing, and we shouldn't be mad when other groups come over and do the work that we don't want to do and stuff like that.
Yes, absolutely. There's just a steady stream of garbage, of negative attention, of propaganda that is just fed 24/7 to the world, and also to Black people. And unfortunately, because of or partially at least because of trauma, generational trauma, hypertension from when you walk outside of your house, it's easily consumed and digested, and people support that narrative. I mean, there's a negative narrative constantly fed to all of us, and unfortunately we actually buy into it. And then for those of us who wholeheartedly believe it and think that somehow if we support that negative narrative that we can somehow get a leg up, we can be the chosen jester by supporting that narrative, then yeah, it's definitely not helpful. The Black population does not put out their own narrative. A narrative is put out for them, for us. We're not controlling that narrative, and so what we are witnessing is negative results, and we're playing along into them. I know I myself regularly, I have to, when I step outside the house, when I go to the store or whatever place where I have to engage socially, I try to intentionally engage people who look like me, and reading body language, and some of the responses or non-responses yeah, it seems like, yeah, we're definitely buying that narrative. We're treating each other the way the media says, or what the narrative that the media is putting out about us, and immigrants, Haitian immigrants, we're definitely subject to that, and even more subject to that. Wherein perhaps some of us, most of us, are extremely gullible. We travel, or they've traveled X amount of thousands of miles to come to this dream state, and that we want to believe. And like I say, we carry a negative narrative about us from what the media puts out. Sorry, I know that was kind of long-winded, but the short answer is yes. I'm
Okay.
perspiring.
Okay. Okay. Now I just wanted to, like, see the response to that particular question. This is probably actually going to be my last one for you because there are some people that still want to come up.
Yes, sir.
Um, and this is probably going to be the biggest one. And I think this is a question that I don't think I saw anyone in the chat throw this out here. Based on what you have seen so far with the Haitians at the border, now, how long have you been on the stream? Like, for today? Like, did you catch the whole thing?
Um, I came in shortly before you were referencing Professor Black's essay that was done, I think, last
Last night.
night, or memory recall failure. I'm I'm a
Yeah.
busy guy, and here I am on social media, but I stay busy.
Okay.
But that's about when I came in, and I've actually listened to your channel for quite a while.
Okay.
I make some remarks here and there, but not too much. I try to I try to listen a little more to see where people are heading.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So this is gonna be my last question to you. My last question to you is based on what you have seen so far down at the border with Haitians right now. Would you say that they have received what we like to call their Negro wake-up call? They realize that now that America is not what they thought it would be, and this is before they can even set foot here. Now they are realizing that they are not as separate from Black people as many of them like to be. Because one thing I said in the beginning of this video was that I saw pictures on Instagram of them saying Haitian lives matter, as if that's separating them. But here's the thing. They have to realize that if they was to come over here now, they might be identified within themselves as a group as Haitians nationality, nationally or nationality. But when they get over here, how Dub S, as I like to call it, works, they are under the umbrella that's labeled one big nigga. So my question to you is, to go back, would you say that they have received their Negro wake-up call?
I think the 2080 rule is going to apply here. Perhaps 20% will have realized, will be like, oh shit, excuse my French, even though that's English. And then there's still going to be the other 80% who are not going to want to wake up. Unfortunately, yeah.
I'm actually glad you said it like that instead of just saying flat out yes, because the truth of the reality is not all of them are going to catch it. Unfortunately, it's many of us, Black Americans that are in the same, boat with that sentiment. But you can go ahead and continue.
Yes, and actually, I'm quite glad you brought that correlation up. As far as our Negro wake up call, I mean, we are constantly being abused, and somehow we just continue to pray and continue
sounds like us too, unfortunately.
Yeah, continue to wait for God to come and fix our problems. And that way of thinking is a problem. And too many Haitians have that problematic way of thinking, waiting for God to come and fix our problems. And of course, uh, having resided here in the US, there's no shortage of ADOS who also have that cognitive problematic way of thinking. And yeah, so B1, I appreciate you letting me have a voice on your channel, and I look forward to more information that you're bringing all of us.
Okay, thanks for coming up.
Yep.
And to those asking in the chat, was that a yes or a no? That was a yes. He was just breaking it down in percentages of who would, of 20% that would say that yes, they have received the wake up call, or they're realizing it wasn't all it was cracked up to be, but there's going to be another 80% that will be in denial. So I'm gonna bring up the next person. I'm gonna have JW be the last person, so nobody after JW. Go, Narmer. I'm hoping I pronounced your name correctly.
Hey, Terrain.
What's going on?
So I just want to say in the beginning that I'm actually from the Caribbean also.
Okay, which part?
Well, it's actually kind of complicated, but I was born in Puerto Rico, but my family is actually Dominican.
Okay.
Yeah, so but I want to thank you, for always for speaking on the truth, for bringing the news and just letting me be here and first of all I want to say that the problem that we have in the Caribbean and also in Africa is that we don't see ourselves as a race first. We see ourselves by nationality. Like the Haitians. They don't they see themselves as Haitians, and that's it. On Dominicans, they see themselves as Dominicans. They never think about race. And when you do that, you're not able to to unite on together and to create empowered on together. Because when you're separated by by nationality, you're not able to like combine your power to make Haiti better, to make the Caribbean islands better, like Jamaicans and Haitians, they should be like like coming on together to to build their islands, their economies but they see themselves as Jamaicans, Haitians, and another thing is that if the if it's not possible to do that, then they should just like do the same thing that the Sentinel Island black people did. Like don't let anybody come into the island. Like the thing is that we have to learn from other blacks that did the correct thing. Like the Sentinel Island people, they say, oh, okay, if they're not, if they're gonna prevent us from uniting, then we're gonna close the island, to everyone, and I feel like that's basically what the Haitians should do, like for now, like and like go go for broke, another thing I want to say is that when it comes to like how the media says that that for sorry that black immigrants are doing better, than foundational black Americans. That's not true, man. Like the thing is that people don't understand that slavery, it actually hit the Caribbeans, as hard as foundational black Americans. And we have the same problem, the same problems that you guys have with, like on family, like the family structure. We have the same problem too. And the reason that like Afghans and like lighter skinned people, they're able to immigrate here and create businesses because they have the family structure. They're able to put like 10 people in the family together, to aggregate, the money, to rent, like a building, to they're able to like basically put their money on together, because they have a good family structure. And through slavery and propaganda, we're not, blacks all over are not able to do that. The only blacks that do that are actually from the continent, like sorry, Nigerians. And like they in Africa, the family structure is actually very good. So Nigerians are able to to be successful because they didn't go through through slavery and through the problems that we had to deal with here. So so I just wanted to analyze that. And also you asked the other person, um if you believe that the Haitians are gonna, the 10,000 Haitians are gonna wake up.
Mhm.
I don't think so, because the thing is that people don't realize that most of like most people in this world, they they go by what the media is selling them.
Right.
Yeah, media is selling them like, oh, Biden is saying to to go back, to the border, because we're letting people back in. And like the thing is that media controls everything, man. Like, and it's, unfortunately, uh I agree with people like like you and Tariq. It is, it's actually better for them to to stay over there, man, because they're not gonna like they're not gonna wake up to the truth here, man. Like
Mhm.
it actually, it takes a lot for for immigrant blacks, to wake up. Like I barely woke up to the truth like 5 years ago. So
Mhm.
it takes a lot, man. Like I really feel like foundational Black Americans, they're the only ones that are gonna save the Black race, man. And that's why the freaking palm color people, that's why they go so hard on you, because they know you're like the killmonger of the world. And if they if they if they allow you to to be free, you're gonna free the world, man, basically. So they know. And you know I guess my last point I want to make is that I feel like um in the end, I really feel like we should, as men, we gotta start like getting a brother, sorry, a we gotta like get a fighting spirit, going, because there are too many, weak men out here, man. Like, we gotta like, listen to people like Malcolm and Kwame Ture and the revolutionary black man, because it's only through the warrior class that we're gonna really free our people. Like, there's basically there's like too many weak men out here, man, and we gotta change that. So that's basically my my whole thing here. So
Okay. So you
yeah,
said
and yeah.
so you say you don't live in the States, or you do?
Oh, I do, yeah. So I
Okay.
live in New York.
Okay.
Yeah. So
But you descend from you said the Dominican Republic?
yeah.
Oh, so you on the same island as Haiti, just on the other side,
Um,
just on the other side.
basically, yeah. And the thing is that the thing is that in my family, like I actually have family members that they rather be when I tell them that they actually came from Africa, sorry, Africa. They tell me like, oh, no, we were always here, like we came from Spain, and like I'm like, from Spain, like. And that that's basically the mentality that the Caribbean people have, like they they're like super uncolonized in the mind.
Right.
So
Yeah, because someone had wrote in the chat that a lot of people who like identify as quote unquote Hispanic or whatever the case may be, that when they do those little DNA ancestry tests and they get their results back, for the they find out that they might they have some African ancestry, and a lot of them are shocked to find that out. And
yeah,
it's mainly due to family members telling them lies that this is where they descend from, or because they speak a certain language, or they are a certain skin complexion, that this is where they are from. And I tell people that black people, we have a stamp, a footprint on this entire planet. So
yeah,
don't be, so shocked when that happens. I'm like, have you actually seen an authentic Spaniard? And then you look at yourself, and it's like, do you think that you derive from that? And it's like, most likely not. So it is what it is. But I definitely appreciate you coming up here to tell everybody, talk to us about what it is, and it's good to hear another person that's also from the Caribbean, give their perspective about this.
hey, I thank you, for letting me be here, letting me make my points, and keep up keep up the good work, and yeah, I'll be here next week. We'll see.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I appreciate you coming up.
All right. Peace.
All right. All right. So next up, we have JW.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, how you doing, Toveen? I'm also like the last quarter from New York City as well.
Okay.
First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to everybody who made made the points in the live stream. It's really well appreciated, but it's pretty much gave us sort of how can I say this, a kind of intervention, because I work at the airport, and
Mm-hmm.
I just recently ran into a Haitian. He was on his way to Barcelona. He was doing a little. First, he was going to Turkey first, then go to Barcelona, and he was going to do some little work over there. And he basically was crying when he was watching what's going on at the border. I saw him watch in the distance watching the video, and some tears was coming out of his eyes. And I really wanted to approach him, but I was in the middle of work. But I had that mentality of like your slogan, like I feel nothing. But after listening to these folks, the last two people who's from, especially particularly in the Caribbean, I speak their minds. I agree with them 100%. majority of the Caribbean is not going to wake up after even seeing this. They're not, bro. And this is exactly why the DOS, the FBA/ADOS is feeling absolutely nothing for this, because despite everything that is going on at the border with the Haitians, you got, and I'm ashamed to say this because I'm half Jamaican. You got both the Jamaican people and the Nigerian people literally going after, particularly, I'm just going to put out there, particularly in the element of hip hop. They want to convince
I talked about that earlier. Yeah, I talked about that earlier.
Exactly. They wanted to take credit for something that clearly doesn't belong to them. And they know this. And it's, I know a lot of people probably was kind of thick of this, but I'm just going to bring out the elephant of the room. The reason why they doing this is because a certain someone who promoted them through three of his albums, and he just recently dropped the album. Okay? And it has been 8 years since his third album was released. And everybody in the chat knows exactly who I'm talking about. He used to say cuffs on the rose, woman on his own phone. He should call when and go home. He been in his club too long. Simple. You know exactly who I'm talking about.
Right.
Okay? Between 2015 and 2017, he released 3 particular records that promoted the Caribbean culture by storm. You can't go back 20 years into the hip hop diaspora and say that a hip hop artist promoted Jamaican Caribbean culture and how can I say this, and pretty much West African culture to a degree more than this person. I'm not going to mention his name. Just put it in the chat. Just put it in the chat. Y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. Okay. All right. So they have gotten so cocky because dancehall music is now more popular than it was in 2000.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Majority of these people and their forefathers, they don't like hip hop. Okay. Biggie's mother hates hip hop. You know what I'm saying? But they have the audacity to tell me that Biggie and other artists was begging to be in these reggae songs and Caribbean dance hall songs. No, okay. You can go to an example like Supercat. Okay, Biggie's first feature that he was in a Supercat song. Nobody cared about Supercat. People only care about Puffy's whack ass verse and of course Biggie's amazing verse. And like I said before, Miss Willetta Wallace, Biggie's mother, does not like hip hop. She actually likes country music. Okay, so we all know that Busta Rhymes was Jamaican. Is Jamaican. We all know that Big Herc is Jamaican. We all know that KRS-One is Jamaican. Remember, the Bronx back in the 60s and the 70s had an entire Jamaican implode. A lot of Jamaicans immigrated to the Bronx. Okay, right now as I'm having this conversation with you, I can go to East Gun Hill Road all the way up to Mid Yonkers, nothing but Jamaicans. You understand what I'm saying? So this surge of what this artist has done, he paved the way for this. He paved the way for this. That's why you're going to keep seeing this, because it's the only thing that they have. They can't go to another country and get support when it comes to their plight from other races. They can't do it. That's why they come here. When George Floyd passed away, who turned up? Jamaica or Minneapolis? When he passed away, who turned up? Haiti or Minneapolis? Dominican Republic or Minneapolis? You know what I'm saying? The UK or Minneapolis or Peckham or Brixton? John Boyega, the actor, thought that we was all good money with the diversity. 5 years later, in 2020, I hate racist white people, and he's been blackballed to a large degree. You know what's really sad about the situation is that, unfortunately for him, there's a lot of racist white people, and now he's starting to get. No, he already get the message. See, I don't want to be. I'm going to be a little bit verbal. Okay, majority of us as a whole understand what's going on with us, how the white people hate us and want to discriminate us as long as they can. We just don't give a fuck. That's how it's got to be. I have come to terms with dealing with just coming to terms with my people being hard headed as motherfuckers. That's how it's got to be. That's how I'm thinking about that now, and I'm probably gonna be thinking about this for a very long time. Hopefully, not long enough. But by doing all this behavior, have you asked yourselves this, people? Is it worth having your children in the crossfire because y'all don't want to get on code? Is it actually worth it? How is bickering, arguing across the entire Black diaspora in this so-called falsified war that we participate in help our children? It doesn't help our children. No matter how much you try to say, oh, our country is great, you see what's going on in Haiti. You see what's going on in Jamaica, in the Dominican Republic, in Panama, and Guyana. Okay, you see what's going on all those, in Africa too, especially West Africa. Look what's going on in East Africa. They taking over everything in East Africa. It's sad, and the only option is to come here. How is coming here helping your country?
Mm-hmm.
So it's what it is. Like I said before.
That goes back to what I was saying earlier, when I was saying that a lot of people see Black people in America, Black Americans, as the ones that's always opening their arms to everybody, so they feel like we're the last resort. That's basically how they're treating us as the last resort. And now that we've decided to close our arms and not extend them anymore to an extent, now we catch hell for it because we find, like I said earlier, we're finally putting our foot down and they don't like it.
Exactly.
And then that's when their real side comes out. We don't see the fakeness anymore. Now we see the real side.
Mm-hmm. Like we're pretty much showing. We're going to remind you people. Since you want to lie to our face, we're going to remind you people. You see, it was no problem when we were idolizing the fake Dr. King before 1966, before he started talking about reparations. And that is the thing that hurts them the most, the word reparations. Mm-hmm. As soon as we started talking about reparations, it became a motherfucking problem to them. Well, what's wrong with the word reparations? What is wrong with compensating yourselves from the very people that enslaved you, that gave you your falsified language? I despise Black people speaking French, Spanish, okay? Old Irish slang, okay? Majority of the West and Southern part of Africa and in the Caribbean, they speak French or Creole. The sound of the other subsidized dialect. No. It became a problem. Once we started talking about reparations since 2016, it was a problem to them. We still going out there on Black Twitter. It's been how many years? Almost 5 years?
Yeah.
Come on, man. So that's all I'm going to say.
And that's why they throw those trinkets out there, like what they did back in August. And I talked about it in the video when they were trying to give Black people, what was it? Saying August was what? Hip hop month or something like that. So they just throw out trinkets to hopefully to get us to stop. But as you can see, them throwing out those trinkets don't work. And we're still talking about tangibles and reparations. So it's reparations. And the thing is they don't even realize that paying the reparations and the tangibles will actually help boost the economy past where it's at now. But because their ego and pride won't allow them to do that, because then that could have us surpass them for the first time in forever, that scares the hell out of them. I said what you should be scared of is the fact that that according to that census, your numbers is dropping.
Yep. And it's very interesting that they took a very long time to reveal the census. We were supposed to learn the census. Let me ask you a question, Toreen, and to everybody in the chat. Has anyone that walked down their block or the street or drive down the street and see people with a U.S. Census bag?
I can't say that I have.
I've seen at least three times.
I don't even know what I wouldn't even know what that bag looks like.
I've seen at least 3 times, man. They changed the color of the bag. It's now dark blue now. But yeah, this is oh man. And that is the crazy thing, man. It's been the problem. We've been doing this for 5 years, and now it's gotten to the point where we can put our foot down. You're on your own. We can't. We as foundational Black Americans, ABOS, FBA, DOAS, we have to have zero tolerance for any single out of pocket ish slang talk. The moment you step out of the pocket of a conversation, your ass is blocked to me. You are an enemy to me. That's it. Because for the sake of my goddaughter, my youngest niece, nah. You are not going to interrupt her. You are not going to be a liability to her safety. That's all I'm going to say to him. So I appreciate all the work you guys have done. You and the new black media, old black media is dead. It's dying. They're desperate to use the foreign black renaissance as the last Trojan horse because you have a lot of black celebrities co-signing foreign blacks right now. Very interesting. Everybody needs to look up the Harlem Renaissance to really get the scope on what I'm saying about the foreign black renaissance. It's real out here. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So again, Toreen, I appreciate everything you've done, brother. You take care, all right?
I appreciate it. You too. Mm-hmm. All right. The last person we are going to have speak today is Black Unity. What's going on?
Hey, Toreen. How are you?
What's going on? How you doing?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Okay, man. I just wanted to jump in on the whole, Haitian situation.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm not Haitian myself, but I'm a Cameroonian.
Okay. So you off the continent?
Sort of. My parents are immigrants.
Okay.
Hello?
I'm here. Go ahead. That's just the phone ringing. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, my parents are immigrants, so I understand the situation a bit. The immigrants all come with a certain mentality. They think like if you just work hard, you can achieve anything. But yeah, if you live in a dot-ass society, yeah, that doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, like another person said, like, yeah, some people, they don't want to wake up. And for example, my mother, yeah, she's a bit resentful of that fact. And yeah, I see it in the way she treats me and yeah, takes out her anger on me when I was a child. Like, yeah, like it is what it is, man. Like, and yeah, that's how a lot of immigrants come to certain countries. Like, yeah, it's easy to believe the Kool-Aid of how do people say? Yeah, if you just work hard, like yeah, that's nice and all. Work hard. But if you live in a system that doesn't want to reward your hard work, you can work hard all you want, but you're not getting anywhere.
Right. And I think that's something that they feel in the heads with a lot of Black immigrants, that they kind of like tell them that, and then they feed, and what they'll do is they'll come over here and then they'll tell us, see how hard they're working. You can get the same thing too if you work just as hard. And then it's almost like they're giving them a trophy speech, like a first place trophy speech. Like if you work just as hard as they do, then you'll get this as well. And then what happens is it gets in the head and the psyche of the people that they're telling this or feeding this to, and then it regurgitates back to us. And that's where where self-doubt and self-hate comes in. Then you'll have people saying, well, you know what, maybe they're right. If I was like this and if I was like that, then I would have this and I would have that, not realizing that a lot of people that say those things don't have much either. You might have more than they do, but on the surface, this is what they're presenting to you to make it seem like you don't have or can't achieve anything. That's why one type of videos that I like to put out there are my melanated excellence videos, especially when they're coming from Black people who were born here, because those stories don't get highlighted like that. Like, I had two stories, as a matter of fact, that's going to be coming up soon. One in particular that just really blew my mind to the point where, like, well, you'll be able to hear it in my tone when you hear the story, because I'm just amazed at hearing those type of stories, and I love when I get those, because mainstream media, as we already
Still there,
know,
Torian.
huh?
Oh,
Can you hear me?
sorry. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
but what I was saying was, we
Yeah,
know those
that's
type of, know what I was saying? Like, we know that those type of stories don't get highlighted like that in mainstream media, and I don't expect it to either, because it's talking about not something that's positive. And the thing is, if we had, excuse me, if we could put out a cycle of those type of narratives, so especially younger Black people can see them, that can give them something to aspire to be other than what's the stereotypical norm.
exactly. And there's another thing I wanted to add was I can't remember who said it. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I don't remember who said it because I listen to a lot of streamers.
Mm-hmm.
But one person said for the life of me I can't remember who said it. But the person said the efficiency of .s is it works so well. I think it was maybe you or someone else.
Mm-hmm.
It works so well. Sometimes you don't even need a .s person to perpetuate .s. You know,
Yeah.
like if it's not a .s person making your life hard, it's going to be one of your own, because they believe in that whole working hard narrative.
Right. And a lot of people that push that working hard narrative don't even work that hard themselves. Like someone has said just now in the chat, that white people push that work hard crap, and many of them skate on by themselves. They might have been given a position because maybe a family member owned the company, so they were next in line to take over, or whatever the case may be. So it's like a legacy type of thing. So a lot of them don't even work hard, but then they'll tell us that we need to work hard and stop being this and stop being that. And but I said there are Black people out there that do work hard and do want to work. That just reminded me of the story that I did last year about the Black people in Ward 8, which is a predominantly Black ward in DC, where they was looking for construction workers, and Black people, it was a contract saying that they have to give out those jobs to people who live specifically in Ward 8. They literally did not follow the contract and went and got outside people from like Maryland and Virginia. All of them were Mexican, gave them the jobs, and the Black people were left with nothing. Black people went up there and protested, and then they showed the video, and you had people online, even Black people included, jumping in and saying how Black people were wrong about this. Then they said that if you weren't so lazy, you would have these jobs, without even knowing the whole story. And see, that's the psyche of it all. They have convinced people that Black people don't want to work. They have convinced that Black people are lazy, that we don't do nothing all day, like that we're all bums. So that's why people jumped into that. And I have to jump in and interject right quick, because I live in the area. I don't live in DC, but I live close to DC. I know exactly where Ward 8 is at. So when I saw that, I said, y'all are getting the story all wrong, and here's the actual story. Black people want to work. They went against the contract saying that these jobs are for Black people. They gave it to Mexicans who don't even live in the ward. They live in Maryland and Virginia. And that's why they were upset about it. Like, they literally gave these jobs to other people when they weren't supposed to. It was almost like they gave them those jobs illegally. And then that's what it led to.
Yeah, I saw your video, but I saw it. And what did I want to say? Yeah, there are people like us that make our lives hard, like either because they believe the whole work hard narrative, or you got people like, I'm getting a bit personal, like my mother, who are taking out their own resentfulness on other people because, they found out, this whole .s system is not what it's cracked out to be,
Mm-hmm.
Me, I'm getting a bit personal now. I'm gonna say, me personally, I haven't. How do you say? I haven't encountered a lot of .s situations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lucky in that regard, but in another regard, my own family, made my life quite hard because they were taking out their own frustrations of yeah, living in a dub-S society out on me, you
Right.
know.
That's unfortunate. But you have some people that's out there. Is I think what makes it even more unfortunate on your behalf is the fact that this is coming from family.
Yeah, yeah, true. Yeah, but you know, yeah, you already know. You know, the thing is, like living in a dub-S society, it's already hard, and I don't need you, my own, to make it even harder. You know, come on, like
Mhm.
I want a break. Like give me a break.
And sometimes, like sometimes if it comes to a point, you might just have to separate yourself, even if it's just for a limited time, away from that element. Even if it is family, because if you feel like they're weighing down on you because of your own personal experiences, and you try to like tell them like what's up, and they're not receptive of it, then you just have to do what you have to do, and kind of it goes back to leaving people where they're at. Like you can't like bring everybody along. I know, because with it being family, you feel like you can't let go of that, but sometimes you just have to.
I understand. But it's more like yeah, you. It's like yeah. I mean, if you're American, I'm not American, by the way. I live across the pond, like you say,
Where at?
in the Netherlands. Um,
Okay. Okay.
um,
Oh yeah, you
um,
really across the pond then.
yeah, yeah. But I found you through Segito, so that's how I found you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Seiji Hito, he does good content.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, what I wanted to say is like, yeah, it's like for immigrants, yeah, not me, of course, because I was born here. But for a lot of immigrants, it's like the other person said that was talking to you. About 20% wake up and 80% don't. Yeah, and some people wake up and yeah, they don't like what they see. And yeah, they don't know how to deal with it, you know. And that's yeah, and then they just either take it out on other people like us.
Right. Which is even more unfortunate. Like, like what did we do to you? Like we didn't do anything to deserve this kind of treatment. All we do is simply exist, and I guess that's an issue.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it. But yeah, we're in a case. Yeah, we're just the punching bag of everybody, you know.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's another part what I wanted to say. I don't know if you want to talk about it because it's quite a recent video of yours. I think it was
Well,
about um I think you and Sajidi made a video about I think about the mother that took the life of her own son, if I remember correct.
over the SD card.
Yes, yeah, that was it. That's it. That was it.
Hmm.
That was it. Um, I think a lot. I think we as a people, um, we're all about family, and I respect that. I really do. But the thing is, nobody wants to check their family. You know,
Yeah.
like let's say you have that one family member that's a bit off, a bit
Hmm.
weird, or maybe has a lot of anger issues, and when that
Right.
person gets it, and when that person gets a child, nobody is thinking about this as like, you know, is it maybe I should keep an eye on them because you know they have quite a temper or they're not really all there, you know.
Yeah.
And then when something happens, everyone wants to act like they're all surprised. Like, come on, you know your family member, you know your siblings or cousins, like you know they have certain issues.
Exactly.
You know, I'm all about family unit, but I'm also about not ignoring certain sides. You know, like come on, chances are they knew. No, no, I think they knew the woman had certain issues or mental issues, and nobody was keeping an eye on her and her child. Like, come on.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Signs are, yeah, the signs are usually always there, because any woman or anybody or any parent, I should say, that will kill their child over an SD card. My when I first heard that, and I said it in the video, what was on that card? Like, that was one of my main questions. What was on that card that she spazzed out like that? That she not only shot her child, she shot her child twice. One shot didn't kill him, so the next one did. Like, so what was on that SD card that was so important that she had to take her own child's life? And also, I would not be surprised if she's been abusing her son before in the past. Because just one day, just pick up a gun and just shoot and kill your child, like, that's not normal behavior. So something tells me there was abuse going on in that household with her, at least in the past.
I don't doubt that. I really don't doubt that. But maybe there wasn't anything on the SD card, you know. Maybe she just had a temper issue.
See, the thing is that the thing is, I don't want to go lean into much more like into that, because then that could be, they can be trying to give leniency or trying to say, oh, she had a mental health issue, and I don't want to lean into that. Not that they would even probably believe that to begin with. And the thing is, let's just say they said that it was a temper thing, that wouldn't even help her case anyway, because then that's going to actually just make it look even more bad on her, because it's like you had a temper issue over an SD card. Like, that's what you decided to kill your child over. As a memory card.
No,
because you didn't know where it was at.
Exactly. But don't get me wrong. I don't equate having a temper issue to having a mental issue. Some people just have a bad temper.
All right. Someone said in the chat that her family said that she suffered from paranoia.
Oh yeah, that was it. That was it. But still,
that goes back to what you were saying. If her family knew that she suffered from paranoia, maybe it was a thing that maybe her child should not have been around her, because paranoia. Because like when you suffer from paranoia, you never know when those episodes are going to come. It's not like they're on schedule or anything like that. Or maybe she was on meds and she wasn't taking them. That's another thing.
Exactly. That was what I was trying to say. Like you knew about it, but nobody was keeping an eye on her. No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nobody was watching.
Exactly. The family definitely does play, a part in that as well. But is there anything else that you had to say? Because I'm actually about to end the stream in a couple of minutes.
Of course. I think that was it. That was it. So it was fine. It was fine talking to you. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, no problem.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, my bad, Black. You were saying something, but I think you were just saying have a good evening. But thank you. Okay, this is going to be pretty much the end of the stream. Shout out to everybody who came through. Shout out to all the people who, if I have any new subscribers, welcome. Shout out to the people who hit that super chat button. This was a very interesting discussion we had. I'm glad that I was able to talk to some of my reoccurring people, but I was definitely glad that I was able to speak to some people that have never come up to speak before. People from, other parts of the world that wanted to give their take about what's going on down there at the border. People who are Haitian or of Haitian descent that came up and said what they had to say. Like I said, with me, I don't have any, I don't harbor any kind of ill will or anything like that, but we just got to call it like it is, because over here, everybody gets held accountable. This is equal opportunity channel over here. We are not biased. We are not leaning one way or the other. We just got to call it how it is, because Black Americans, we've been called out and called everything under the sun but a child of God for many, many years. And now it's our turn to tell it like it is. But with that being said, I'm going to hop off of here. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good weekend. We'll be back on here tomorrow with the 3 videos, 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 6 p.m. Shout out to everybody who's in the Discord. Make sure that y'all hit that like button, because that is what drives the algorithm.